Okay, there has been a fair few reviews of this so far on YouTube, but I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in on this. I've watched this DVD over a period of about a month, I guess. Like the first disc I watched about 3 weeks ago, so my memory may be a bit shoddy, like as far as the documentary goes. But everything else I'm quite up to go with. It's a pretty enjoyable DVD, I must say. It was pretty good. I think there's some things they could have done better though. I think the documentary could have been a bit longer and could have gone into depth about each Starrcade. I would have liked something like that, you know, because I haven't had much access to WCW pay-per-views in England, because on the VHSs of WCW pay-per-views are very rare and hard to find. Even when they were on general release, you could hardly find them anywhere. So I've got a video done maybe about a year ago of all my wrestling VHSs. And there's a shitload of WWF, but probably about 8 WCW vids, because most of them were picked out of charity shops years later for a cheaper price. But basically, some of the first wrestling I watched was WCW and NWA. They used to show worldwide on ITV or Channel 3 here in the UK, either on a Sunday afternoon and sometimes at Friday nights, kind of 2 in the morning or something. But yeah, getting onto this DVD, I think the documentary could have been a bit longer and gone in depth. But that's just me, you know. It's probably good that they kept it short, because there was a lot of matches on it. There's 25, and some of them I think they could have left off and maybe had some better ones. Starts with Roddy Piper and Hogan. I was watching this after a few beers after the pub with 2 of my mates, and we were just laughing at how slow they were moving and just basically how kind of shit it was. But yeah, it's good entertainment for that moment, but not a match I will go back to a lot. Sting and Great Muta, it was a good match, but not very memorable. I think it could have been a lot better. I like this tag match here, Wyndham and Pillman versus Steamboat and Douglas. I think this is a good, solid, classic tag match. Had a lot of storytelling and just great. I thought it was good. Goldberg versus Kevin Nash. Just a silly match, but we just thought it was comedy after a night out in the pub. We thought it was funny how there was the stun gun, the cattle prod to end Goldberg's streak. That was a bit silly. The Battle Bowl match from the Lethal Lottery Starrcade 1991. This was a bit oh, what the fuck, I know, at 3 in the morning after the pub. But it was still quite enjoyable, and I do have that Starrcade on VHS, and I enjoy it for the nostalgia value more than anything, because most of the wrestlers and characters got used on that pay-per-view. But yeah, it wasn't a bad match, quite entertaining, even though you're a bit oh, what the fuck, if you can't follow it, or if your mind's not with it. The 2 out of 3 falls match between stunning Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes. I like this, just great match. I used to love how Stunning Steve always used to go, time out, back in those days, with the heelish tactics. Oh, I love the Dangerous Alliance that he was in. It's good, and stuff like this proves why Steve Austin is one of my favourite wrestlers. I remember him as Stunning Steve very fondly. I like that, and I like Dustin Rhodes back in the day. Yeah, I like Goldust too, but you know. Alright, then it goes on to Disc 2, Tag Team title match from 87 Starrcade. The Road Warriors versus Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Real good match, I loved it. Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard are one of my favourite tag teams. Great as the Brainbusters in the WWE, WWF rather, and just great additions to the Horsemen and a solid tag team, and they're just brilliant wrestlers, good stuff. Ray versus Juju Thunder Liger, good match, had some good stuff, a bit botchy, but it was alright. Oh, the scaffold matches I weren't a fan of, to be honest. Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express. Could have done without the scaffold match, but they're probably there more for historic value. Luger versus Flair, awesome, epic match. I loved it. Eddie Guerrero versus Shinjiro Otani, good match. Enjoyed it a lot. Didn't think it was as good as like a lot of people who rating it like 4.5, but still good. Dusty Rhodes and Sting versus Road Warriors, just kind of fun match. Nothing like brilliant, but pretty good. My favourite match on the DVD, one of my favourites, is Sting versus Big Van Vader. I have fond memories of their feud back in '92. I remember like when Vader won. I used to be legitimately shit scared of Vader when I was a kid. He was an awesome heel and an awesome wrestler, and this match confirms it. It's one of the best matches on this DVD. I love this match so much. It's brilliant. I love the Sting versus Vader match, and I think it's better than their one at Great American Bash when Vader won, but that's still an awesome match itself. Alright, Rhodes versus Flair, good stuff. Oh yeah, Briscoe Brothers versus Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat at Flair for the Gold, good match too. Eddie versus Dean, a great match by those two. Not as good as the one on the first Eddie DVD that they wrestled in ECW, the 2 out of 3 Falls one, but still a bloody good match, some great storytelling. Road Warriors versus Steiners. This was a good match too, could have been longer, but it still held its own. The ladder match, Freeway, yeah, just a great kind of spot fest ladder match really, so you say about that. Flair versus Sting in the final of the Iron Man tournament, good stuff. Only had 15 minutes, but they put it all out and told a story of that match. Oh, the dog collar match, Valentine versus Piper, that is a classic and a must-see. Just awesome amounts of storytelling and brutality in that match. It's good stuff. Classic. Every wrestling fan should watch that match. Road Warriors versus Midnight Express scaffold match. Yeah, Jim Cornette does his bump. That's pretty much it. Sting versus Hogan. Yeah, you know what this is like. Just fucking abysmal, basically. I don't like it. Not a fan of that at all. Should have been, yeah, you could go in a whole video talking about the build for that match. Flair versus Harley Race. The classic steel cage match where Flair wins. This is like the second time I've seen this match. I was quite bored by this match. I hate to say it. I was bored by this the first time around. I think it could be at least 5 or 10 minutes shorter than it is, but still a brilliant match nonetheless. I don't think it's overrated or anything, but that's just my preferences. Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard, I Quit match. Oh, this is just epic. Just great emotion in this. Magnum TA was a great baby face. It's a shame what happened to him. But yeah, just awesome stuff. Tully Blanchard's one of my favourites. I love it. And the final match on the DVD, Ric Flair versus Vader. Great match. Flair gets like a lot of ovation. His career's on the line on this one. Just a big epic match. Didn't really like the roll-up finish, but it is Vader, so it'd be a bit big to like tap out to the figure 4. You may not believe it. But yeah, just a great epic match and a good way to end this DVD. So overall, I say, like, if you're a fan of old matches with like a lot of great storytelling and crowd interaction and actual wrestling, I'd go for this DVD very much. I think they could have like included some extras, as in the build-ups and promos to do with this matches. I would have liked that. But oh well, at least they've released something that's all NWA and WCW. I'm still waiting on the actual pay-per-views to come out as Tag Classic DVDs. But, you know, hopefully they'll do that in the future. But overall, this is great stuff to tide you over if you're needing some of that old WCW and NWA action. I rate this DVD a very good rating. Even though it could have been better, still a great WWE release there. Okay.